Hello SLAPAFISH community, and welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be driving the Tier 10 French Super Heavy, believe it or not, this is a Super Heavy, with 2,200 hit points. The AMX M4 54. Now this tank gets two different guns. It gets a 120mm, and it also gets a 130mm. In this round, I'm going to be using the 130mm on this tank. Now, this tank is actually quite impressive. It does 560 damage per shot. Also has a reload of 16 seconds with a DPM of 2,100. Now, you may be thinking about the Andre the Giant. If you have the Andre the Giant, why would anybody play the AMX M4 54? Because the Andre the Giant has more armor. Well, yes, the Andre the Giant has more armor, and it also has more hit points. But the AMX M4 54 has a better 130mm gun. Also, it gets a 120mm gun that has a really good reload and really good penetration. But to make this tank unique, just play the 130. Also, this tank is faster than the Andre, but still also has the really good armor that the Andre the Giant does. But a little bit dialed down, but enough to stay out in front of tanks and just absorb shots. So, yeah, let's talk about this tank. This tank is heavily armored. 300mm at the front on its turret, 80 on the sides, and 40 at the rear. Now, this is a very long turret, so anytime you look left or right, since it's only 80mm thick, you're just going to get penetrated to the side. Now, your hull armor is fantastic, especially at the front. Your upper plate armor is 220mm, and your lower plate is 125, and your lower plate is 240mm. Your side armor is also pretty decent, 120 on its lower side and 100 on its upper. So, something I didn't know. Which also makes it pretty good at side scraping. And it also has a gun depression of 8 degrees. Accuracy is 0.37 and aim time is 2.3. So it's a decently accurate for 560 damage per shot. Also, it's quite mobile for a super heavy. Super heavy. It goes 40 forward, 15 reverse, and 1,200 horsepower and it has a 15 horsepower per ton with 2,200 hit points with a view range of 390. Now, this tank. Now, there's the side of my turret getting pinned because I'm getting a little bit flanked. But as long as I get my armor frontally towards the tanks in front of me, I should be able to bounce the shots. Now, let's talk about how I have my tank loaded out. Also, if you want to like this video, consider subscribing because it helps the channel out a ton and it's free to do so. So, my commander skills are Armor Angling, 6th Sense, Born Leader, Off-Road Driving, Silent Driving, Rapid Loading, Clutch Braking, Deadeye, and Adrenaline Rush. Now my equipment is the Advanced Armor, Advanced Loader, Gun Stabilizer, and the Enhanced Target Info. And that's what I have loaded out on this tank. So let's talk about this match. This match, I was fighting over here where the lighthouse is. The artillery is still in play, but I decided to retreat because I was in a perfect place to not get hit by artillery. I was at the lighthouse, playing really close to the lighthouse, but getting shot in the side by that annoying chisel that kept shooting in my side, but I could never get an actual hit on the chisel. But I also realized that our base is in trouble. So I was like, okay, let's go over here. Here's a mouse, which I actually managed to penetrate the side of the turret. He was over-angling a little bit too much with the mouse. Also, if you're wondering what the penetration is, it's 257 on its standard and 300 on its premium, and 65 on its high explosives. And I'm also climbing this little spot right here that you can actually climb, and this first attempt is going to be bad because I completely forgot how to climb the spot, so either way, I'm just going to climb right back up and do it again. Right here, I'm just looking at the artillery, what they have left, and realizing what needs to be done. Also, I'm failing to climb up this hill. The AMX M4 54 just does not want to climb this hill for who knows what reason. But, yeah. Climb this little hill, and we're going to put a shot into the tanks in the middle, and hopefully put a shot into this mouse. Try to bait the tanks in the middle to shooting my armor. Hopefully they'll hit my cupola. That shell ricocheted off the UDAD 16, and I really want to put a shot in this mouse. I really want to kill this mouse so I can actually make my way up there. Sadly, I was still reloading when the mouse actually showed his side to me, so that's a oof. Mouse fires, and I'm still waiting for the tanks to put a shot into me. Now, the mouse has went down to 190 hit points, which is enough to get me to put 2 high explosive rounds into the mouse. Also, if you're running the 130mm gun on this tank, you get 30 rounds. So, it's not a lot of rounds, but you get 30. I don't... what do you get with the 120mm? You get 40 rounds with the 120mm. So, cool. There's my shot. I managed to track the mouse, which I was actually aiming for the lower plate. And now I'm going to load a high explosive round, and I'm still taking fire from the middle. So I'm like, okay, I want to take this mouse down. I don't care if I get shot in the side, I just want to take down the mouse. And the mouse goes down. So that's great. We just lost our Holland Hound because the mouse killed it, and I killed the mouse. So cool. Now, I'm also still in the perfect spot where artillery just cannot hit me. Artillery has not been hitting me because I've been in spots where artillery just can't hit me, or they've just been focusing somebody else. So that's great. It's really great. Okay, now let's see what else to do. So I'm going to come over here to the middle because because one of our teammates died down here in the middle. And a 53 TP gets spotted. I'm like, okay. That's a tier 8 heavy tank. That's about 3 shots. I could take down a 53 TP, go down here without taking damage, and there's the Swedish tank destroyer. Put a shot into the Swedish tank destroyer. Now, since you are this tank has a 130mm gun, it can actually overmax stuff, which is great. And I have enough millimeters of caliber to overmatch the turret falling no matter where I hit it. Now I was charging forward to take out the 53 TP, and I just remembered artillery's still in play. So I backed up behind this house, and I'm just going to stay backed up behind this house, try to bait artillery to shooting me, and wait until I go undetected and leave this spot, and hopefully artillery doesn't hit me. So that annoying chisel sets me on fire, which is super annoying, which was a really lucky shot. I just lost like 750 hit points, which is super annoying. Luckily, the chisel is a one-shot for me, which is really nice to having a 560 damage gun. And with my 11-ish second reload on this tank, I could do it really nicely. Reload pretty nicely. So, it's now a 3v3. I'm telling this tank that wants to push up to fall back. Now, there is a full health Panzer 50T above me, and he's going to take down our UDAD 16. And I'm going to miss. I'm going to bounce on the chisel, and the chisel is going to ricochet off me. Now, the chisel is above me, which makes the angle of my armor not as effective. But I managed to take out the shot on the chisel and kill the chisel. Now, this tank is very heavy, because it's super heavy, and now I'm just going to keep pushing this Panzer 50T. Also, this is an AMX M4 54. It is quite mobile, so I can keep the Panzer 50T in front of my armor, just face hugging, and he can't get to my sides or rear. If he keeps face hugging my tank, then he has no way to penetrating my tank, which is fantastic. Now, there's another Panzer 50T with the IS-7. So I'm going to make the way up there to help the IS-7, make up the way I went up to kill the mouse. Several different times I tried to go up. I failed. But this time, I'm going to go up and right and go straight up. This spot just saves so much time, and it's such a useful spot. And like I showed earlier, it worked really nicely because I'm like the perfect amount of height to use this spot and a really good amount of armor. And also using the 8 degrees of gun depression to use that spot actually hides my cupola too. I go straight up, and now I'm just going to flank around this hill, mountain, whatever you want to call it, and help the IS-7, because the IS-7 is starting to get penetrated by the Kampfpanzer 50D. And now I'm just going to come around and help the IS-7. So that's all I got to do. Telling the IS-7 to follow me so I could help him out with the Kampfpanzer. And yeah. Put one good shot into the Kampfpanzer, and now I'm just going to round the Kampfpanzer, and nearly half of his health is gone. Remaining health is gone, and he's going to ricochet off me, and I'm going to pin the Kampfpanzer. Very easy. The AMX M4 54 is just a really, really nice tank to this tank. I got 6 skills, 6,406 damage, 7,480 blocked, and a ton of medals. That's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Also, bring SLAPAFISH because of watching that. And peace out. See ya.